Hello everyone. Now I'm just refreshing my screen and going live. So sorry about the delay. I do not know why. I have tried everything to get this correct and it is not behaving. Once again, it is doing it in portrait, which is not going to help us today. So hello Margaret. Hi Pauline. The joys of working with technology, ladies. And I have practiced this repeatedly, and for some reason it doesn't want to comply. So I'm just going to pop this into my overhead bracket. We're probably going to have to do some adjusting, unfortunately. So if you get dizzy watching stuff like this, perhaps look away now. All right, now I'm sorry about the mess, if there is a bit of a mess, because I have off the screen, I have got some of my photos and items ready for doing this project. So I've got a pile of photos, a pile of embellishments. Okay, totally not right. Just mucks up the whole thing. All right. Okay, ladies, this might be as good as it gets. Hooray! We are not in the order I want to be in, but we are here. Thank you. I'm not really going to be following along with the comments. I'll try and just get this going as quickly as possible, seeing we're a long way behind. My apologies. I do not know why my phone is not being compliant. I truly do not understand. So this is the page. So this was a layout idea that I was taught through a special group I have a membership in, a paid membership. One of the fab ideas. So yeah, we're going to work with this. This has got this was the Every Little Thing paper pack from a little while back, last year, or maybe, yeah, I think it was last year, beginning of last year. We've used silver twine sequins. We've done some stamping, some shimmer brushing. All this is done with shimmer brushes. We've done the stickers. We've put the stickers on, so from the sticker sheet. These are my gorgeous kids. Some years ago. This little one's 18 now, and my son's 21. All right, I'm going to take that away. We're going to use a current paper pack today. So what you would have seen in our artwork album is this artwork. This page, I think I showed. I hope I've got this on camera. Yeah. Okay, so I know this is not ideal, but yeah, here we go. So that is the page layout that's in the folder. We're going to make an accompanying page using some leftovers from what we cut, and I'm choosing different papers. I just would like to quickly show you what I've come up with for the second page. Okay, so in the artwork folder, I had a full 4 inches by 6 inches journaling box here, which was a Picture My Life card from our pack of Picture My Life cards that coordinate with this. I have decided I'm going to cut that down. I have a photo I will put here. I also have some extra photos that are going to go right here and cast. They're going to be 2 layers and I'm going to position them in such a way that you can see a strip of cardstock, pattern paper at the bottom and the top. Okay, so when people open up to the double page layout, they're going to wonder why there's a tennis player there, but then they can flip up and see us playing tennis on South Stradbroke Island in Queensland many years ago. Okay, so that is the theory behind that one. On this page, I haven't got any die cuts, stickers or anything on here, so perhaps a little cluster of some stamped images and thin cuts or something will go on there as well. So I'll put that aside. So today I'm going to choose 2 pieces of paper from our collection. So I'm going to go with this pattern. I've got a bit busier side on here and a less busy side. So I'm going to go with this. I have some photos picked out. So hopefully they will be great on here. So I'm just working with my 12-inch, the deluxe trimmer. And we have the extension arm, which just pulls out like so. I've heard lots of comments over the years, different consultants, and sometimes I think I've even had a customer not realise that there is an extension arm on this. So this is brilliant. I do recommend this extension as this trimmer from our Close to My Heart. Because buying something from Close to My Heart, you're always going to get the backup help and assistance. And you're going to be taught how to use the products. All you do, if you don't understand how to use something, or, if you've been shown and you're not sure, just ask your consultant to do that for you. I'm just cutting off the zip strips to prepare to my pages to cut them down, or my papers. We are using those zip strips, so I'll put that aside. So so I'll be using putting that one. We're going to be using the front and back, so yeah, I'll put that aside for now. I need a base color, which that's what I haven't got out. So bear with me. I'll just I think I'll grab just a white daisy. So I'll grab out 2 white daisies and have those ready. You could definitely choose a colour that features. I could have done it on, actually, fern would be really nice. Let's go that colour. Okay, I also have sweet leaf here. I'll stick with the fern. Okay. So for my page layout, and I might take away our Versamat for the minute. Right, so it is as simple as cutting this down in half at 6 inches. Okay, 6 inches. Turn it round, cutting it down at 6 inches. So you've got 2 pieces here. Okay, and 6 inches here and here. So you have 4 6-inch by 6-inch squares. Okay, make sure your 4 squares are the same size so you don't run into difficulties a little bit later on. One of these sheets we're going to set aside. Okay, I think I'll just take one of the darker ones because you've got this beautiful wavy Glacier coloured cards, B&T Duo colours, waves. It's really pretty, but it's doesn't have to be waves. It's just some texture on the page. I love it. Okay, we are going to be doing diagonal cutting, and you've got your little cutting trough here. So with this trimmer, you've got your aluminium rail here. So with this one, you're just lining it, the points up in against the rail to get them in there. Right, I'll move this down because I can see it's not on camera. Okay, so let me just check. All right. Yeah, it looks like Facebook Live might be playing up a bit with our phones not allowing us to broadcast in landscape. I don't know because I'm not the only one apparently that's having problems. So I hope that's in screen a bit better. When I'm cutting something like this, where I have to bring my blade onto the corner of the paper, I'm just checking I'm on screen now. I think so. So when I'm actually cutting something like this, I actually bring my cutting blade into somewhere onto the paper. So I'm not actually starting off the paper. That's when you'll rip the corners of your paper. All right, so there's the first one. I noticed I was a little bit off the center of the last one. The first one I did was a little bit off center, so I'll be a little bit more careful with these others. So for the next section, we're going to put the straight edge of the triangles flush across the top and cut them down into this size. I can see I've got that one a tiny bit bigger, but that's fine. I think that'll work out. So we'll just go through and quickly do these. I could double them up and do a couple at once, but if it moves, then I'm not being accurate. So I'll just take the time and cut those singularly. Okay, now, so the next pieces we've got, I wonder if I have got the measurements here. Yes, I do. So we've got, we need a piece of cardstock for the center. I might come back to that, so we'll construct the actual base page, bringing in my Versamat. We're working in a fairly small window here, so on the screen, because of the orientation issues that I've had earlier. Thanks, Alison. You can see it all. I'm glad you can see. Hi, Dana. And anyone else I've missed. Pauline, I think, might be still there. Hello, everyone. Alison, hi. Okay, so I've got the darker side or the lighter side. I'm going to start by having well, I'll just have a quick look at what I feel. So it is just a matter of, and I'm going to just bring in, where's my picture? Okay, so it's basically laying your triangles down like so. and then we will stick the edges down, and we'll be folding them back. You can probably see now how this is going to come together. All right, so we've got 2 triangles across the top. You can turn these triangles, you can flip them around and share them, you know, turn them to actually get the patterns matching. So here, for example, you've got that pattern matching. I don't know if I want to be too bothered. You don't have to, because at some point, sometimes you can't match them. That one matches. Well, I'm having a good run for a change. At least something's going right this morning. So this is the only one so far that's not matching. So let's have a little look, see if we can wing it. No, not that one. Not that one. That one. Okay, so that one matches. Right, we'll just, it's like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, we'll just slot these in where they go. It must be, maybe it's not going to match up for me today 100%. It doesn't have to. Just coincidental that that other one did. Very coincidental. Maybe I should have cut the other triangle up. Maybe that's the missing piece to the puzzle. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I'm not too worried. So essentially, you're going to be sticking the edges down here. So we'll go ahead and pop these in place. Starting at the top, just putting a little bit of adhesive along the top edge. I probably could put a bit longer pieces. Just make sure you get them in the very corners. Sorry about my head or my arms and shoulder into the shot. So remember, on the long edge, just put a nice amount of adhesive along the long edge. Might have to stand for this and come in at an angle, so apologies. That's the hardest two to put down. So hopefully I won't be in your view for the next lot. So the photos I've chosen for my page aren't specifically tropical, but they are summer and they are fun. And they are the outdoors, and they're nice and bright and cheerful. So I think they will add some, because these are quite plain colours. You've only got a couple of colours in these papers. You've got your Glacier. Glacier's the blue. And you've got your fern, and it looks like there's a little bit of darker, I don't think it's New England ivy, but it's just a darker form of the fern. When you have one of our paper packs, our collection paper packs, you will notice on our branding strips, or we call them zip strips, you can see all the coordinating cardstocks that go with these papers, which is a brilliant idea. So just checking that I am on track here, and that looks pretty good. Triangles seem to be really popular at the moment in scrapbooking. Actually, any geometric shape. Isn't that funny? Things come or go and come and go. It's just like clothing fashions, really. If you hold on to your clothes long enough, that is. I can just see a little bit where my paper cutting is off, or maybe it's my actual placement of my triangles. But in the end, you don't need to worry, because all will be good in the end. I love the quality of our pattern papers, our B&T Dura, which stands for bold and texture papers. Truly love that. Ta-da! There we go. So, because you are just basically cutting up one sheet of B&T Duo into triangles, you basically could have put this puzzle all back together and had everything line up. But because I didn't use one of the triangles, sorry, one of the 6x6 inch pieces, I have probably taken the piece out, yeah, that should have been cut. I think that's what's happened. But it doesn't matter. It truly does not matter. So I'm just being a little bit fussy-wussy, because I just want to get these square. It's not actually precise, and I think that's fairly straight. But once I get everything down, it's not going to really matter. Whoops, I'll just stick this one down. And it's 8:30, or was 8:30 when I started. It's now 9:15 here in the morning, and Sunday morning. So I was up at about 7:30. I was very tempted to stay in my pajamas, but I didn't. It was extremely tempting, but I got dressed just for you girls. How's that? I think the turn back is about 1.5 centimeters. I'm using my bone folder as well, which is really helpful. You do want these to be sitting down nice and crisply to form your pattern. Right, I'm going all over the place here, but I'll go back to this one. I'm going to just eyeball this to save time and turn these back, because, as I said, it's just, it's going to look great no matter what. I would probably suggest you put your adhesive on after you've got your turn, once you're actually happy with your turn back. Not like me, I've put it on before I've actually turned it down. Just rotating my page. There's no up the right way. There's no upside or downside to this. So the points are going at the 3-inch and the 9-inch. Did that one. Stick these 3 down. This is coming together quite nicely. Doing it with my fingers, and then it's quicker to come back and do the whole 3 together. How's everyone's weekend going? Have you been enjoying all the tutorials? It's been there's been so much content in here, isn't it amazing? And the design team that I've been working with are so clever. Alison's cards have been amazing. All of Layla's techniques and Lauren's scrapbooking pages. I can't wait to make those, Lauren. I'm really excited to have a go at those. I've probably, like everybody, we've got lots of photos to scrapbook. You're never really behind. A lot of people say, oh, but I'm too far behind, I'll never catch up. And I just, you know, I've got many years of photos that I haven't scrapbooked, and I just go with it. When photos were always, you know, when they were on film, and you always put your film in and had them developed, you always had your photos. Now we go over to digital, and a lot of people are not printing their photos, and I have to admit I'm one of those that I print them. You know, I print a couple of hundred because I'm a scrapbooker too. Of course, I print a couple of hundred at a time. I'm just looking at a preferred orientation for this page. I think I'll come back and worry about that in a moment. So I think I like that way as my way up. I do need to choose an accent colour. I think now seeing it put together, it's a great idea to actually see it put together. And I think I'm just going to hunt over here for some cardstock. Not sure if that will be too, that looks quite dark against that. Black's a good colour to bring in because it does give your photos a pop. It draws the eye in. Black is good for that. So our new black cardstock, and I'm not sure, I don't think this is this could be the new black. So the black cardstock we have now doesn't leave any finger marks on it. I'm just going to cut down a 6 by 6 inch piece here, and I think this will be my piece. That wasn't a full 12 by 12 sheet by the look of it. I could go for maybe some sweet leaf, could have been nice in here. And this is basically how we're going to be sticking this on the diamond shape. I'm off screen a little. Right. So I'm just going to quickly have a look at these photos. I'll come back to this, but I think I'm going to cut some of these down. So my kids are playing in the park and on their bikes. So we're going to have a play with that, and I'll talk through my decisions on how to cut that down. And I'm going to go with the black. So let's put that down. Just centering that. I'm just eyeballing my distance between here and the 4 points of the diamond. I've got my trusty little cloth. I'll keep that close by. Okay, so hopefully now, yeah, hopefully that is on camera fine. So my photos, as I said, I'll come back to. That's your basic page done. I'm going to go to page 2 and get that underway. Okay, and I do need, oh, sorry, I'm going to bring this back in. I've missed the pieces at the bottom. My apologies. Okay, so for this section, we're going to need a zip strip. I better move that. Bring back my cutter. I should have probably cut all this, but I'm sort of planning as I'm going, I suppose, because I living and what do we got here? I'll just measure this because my notes aren't that clear. Just want to check this. I'm just going to measure my left-hand page. You know when you think you've got everything organised? Well, I certainly did think I had everything organised. So this one measures, I've cut a tiny bit off. 10 and, alright, so that's basically 11. Yep, and the zip strip. The zip strip is about 10 and a half, I think. 10 and a half, we will go with that. And we will dovetail that now. I like to keep my silver bladed scissors for my paper, for my paper cutting, definitely for my ribbon cutting. I find they're much sharper than I think it's the Teflon coating. Okay, so I've got that. That's my left-hand page, so that's going to be that way. Now we are needing an accent colour, so I could bring in the black, which I think I will actually go for. I think I'll go for Glacier actually. So I've got this is where some of your offcuts are really handy. I always keep my offcuts sorted by colour. That's a bit crinkled, that one. Wow, it is a bit crinkled. I don't know why it's so crinkled. So let's just use that. So I've got 2 inches. There's a nice 1/2 inch piece that I can use for something. By, I said 11 inches. I know all these measurements are in the artwork album, but I didn't, I dovetailed that, but mine in my example actually has not a dovetail on that piece. It has just an angled background, an angled end. So this is going to be laying on just down from the top. So I'm just going to put a small, I just cut hopefully in the middle, do 1 cut in from the side, and then 1 cut back the other way. Okay, hopefully that will work. I think that looks quite good. All right. So normally I would do all my cutting of my pieces. Whoops, sorry. All the cutting of my pieces before I go on to construction. For this one, because I'm working with a paper pack and I am just working straight out of the basically out of the packet. I haven't. I don't have all the bits pre-cut. I could have, but then that's not showing you the process. So there's not really. I can see I'm a little bit crooked on this piece. I've gone up too far. So I might just pull that down a fraction. It is obvious. Just wondering if I'm going to be able to get it to work properly. A little bit crooked, and it's just glaringly so. That's better. Especially when it's got another line directly above it. There you go. That's down. For this one, I like to use the Tombow for all my scrapbooking, unless I'm doing using our 3D foam tape. I like to use the lower profile 3D foam tape for most of my scrapbooking. I rarely use the higher profile. Well, it's only a couple of millimeters higher, but I just find it's probably about 1/8 of an inch higher, that one. So I tend to use the lower profile one for scrapbooking. I like to use the Tombow because one, it's you get a moment to, you know, if you haven't put something level, you get time to lift it back up like this. You've got a little bit of time to do that. You also can, what else was I going to say? These are refillable as well, so I like that. Also, acid-free, you know it's going to be good for you, for your projects. And I don't like using liquid glue because you cannot get things apart. I can come back to this in a week's time after I finished it today, and I literally could pull it apart if I wanted to, but it is strong enough that it will not come apart. Okay, so you don't want things to be coming apart, and I can guarantee you won't be having things come apart. All right, that bit's done. So other than my embellishments and a sentiment, that page is done. All right, so going on to the next page. Okay, I've got my base. I've got my one piece of 6x6. You actually need to cut a piece down off here. So I'll just bring in my piece. Bring in my, my cutting tool, trimmer. Alright, so it doesn't really matter with this paper which orientation you choose. I have, I think I'll probably, what will I do? For this paper, I think I'll use that one as the, I think I'll use that here. So perhaps orientation for me will be important. I think I'll go with the ombre, the water waves, whatever. You can also use that as mountains. I reckon it's be beautiful background for anything, card making. I'm just double checking my measurement because I made this page up to go with the other page. This is basically loosely based on I think it's a page out of the one of our pattern books. Okay, so I've got that piece. While I'm at it, I will cut down my zip strip to make it 9 inches. Okay, just going to refresh my screen and turn my volume down on my laptop, which obviously I didn't do. Right, so we've got a 9-inch piece here. So this one's going to be cut at this end, so I'm going to go ahead and do that one now. Right, just a tiny little dovetail there. And then we have our other piece across the bottom, which is a 10-inch by 2-inch on this page, which is going to be another piece of glacier to match the other page. So this layout doesn't have half inches and so forth. In Australia, we work with centimetres and metres. So scrapbooking in Australia measuring for some people can be really difficult, working in inches. So for any of my ladies that are watching, or any of the customers that are watching, I'll just go through the measurements. So you've got the 1 inch, 2 inches, right? That's pretty straightforward. So halfway between them is a half. Okay, but the first line, okay, the first complete solid line, or 12-inch line, is at the 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch, and then the next full line is 3/4 of an inch. Then your inches are divided up into smaller pieces and even smaller pieces again. So in between the 1/2 inch, or sorry, the 1/4 inch intervals, you have the eighths, so 1/8 of an inch. So that's the inch, that's the 1/8, and then 2/8, which is 1/4, 3/8, then it goes to 4/8, which is a half, 5/8, 6/8, which is 3/4. A lesson in fractions here. And then you've got 7/8, and then 8/8, obviously, which converts to 1. So now you're up to the 2-inch mark. Going back though, you've got these really small, I hope you can see. I can zoom in a little. Just adjust my camera. I hope I remember to. Right, so I don't know that you can even see that. Just right, there we go. So all those little tiny the shortest little markings are, a whole inch is broken down into 32. So you've got all the way back here, or we'll start at the 1. So you got, sorry, 16th, sorry, not 32. So 1/16, so 1/16, 2/16, which is 1/8. Okay, so, right, so you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 4/16, 5, 6/16, 7, 8, 9, all the way up. Now, on some rulers, it even gets more hairy. When I say hairy, on this ruler, and I don't know if you can see, especially on this side here, I think this side here actually has 32, or maybe not. I didn't rehearse this bit, as you can tell. No, that hasn't got it either. But you can go, here it does. Here it even says it. Oh, and it even goes to 64ths. My goodness, we don't really go down that tiny. Okay, so this inch here is divided into 32 tiny little pieces. And then over here, I don't know if you can even see that on my ruler. Nice and, I don't think you can it focus? Okay, it's not really going to focus too well, but in here is all these tiny wee little lines. It's not going to focus. But anyway, that just gives you a little lesson in measuring in inches and in parts of inches, and in yeah, I think you might be able to see that. I'm just looking at the replay because there's a bit of a lag behind. Give you a little lesson in that. All right, I think we're pretty good with this. We're pretty good. I think we've done our cutting. I'm going to put that aside. Okay, bringing this back in. I haven't dovetailed this. I'll do that now. Just going to check I must have picked up an older piece of paper. That's fine. So it doesn't matter which end which side I stick down, because it's both. I didn't go in very far, so I think I'll just go a tiny bit. I quite often have 1/2 inch strips, 1 inch strips, sometimes 2 inch strips, 3 inch strips when I cut down for my classes, or when I'm just scrapbooking for myself. So no matter what, I've got plenty of lovely scraps. So what I did was put this piece of paper down with a 1/2 inch margin on the side. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Once again, I'm using my handy dandy Versamat. As I've said in previous videos, you can actually stick this down. I'm just going to stand so I can get my edge right at the top. There we go. Okay, this one is going to go here and put a little bit on the side. That one. And for this one, I'm going to come in. So for this one, I think I've come in about 3/4 of an inch. It's sort of in between. So I'm going to come down about 1/2 an inch from the top, I think. Actually, no, I'll come down the same distance. So nearly 3/4 of an inch from the top. Okay. So that's nice and centered. I have come in 1/2 an inch from, I've come in the same distance actually, which is around the 3/4 of an inch, and I've stuck that one down that way. So when you've got your pages together, you could actually use this as a right-hand page, okay, and have them like this. Where are we? Can't see it too well at all. So that one's got the dovetailing on that side. If you want to stop and just have a single page, this works great as a single page. I need to zoom out, don't I, girls? That's what I've done wrong. That's better. Hi, Yvonne. Hello. Hi, Kathy. And anyone I've missed? I know, Lynn. Hi, Lauren. Okay. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, that's a bit better now. Now I've zoomed back out. So, yeah, I mean, you can use this as just a single page. You can change the dovetailing around and have the dovetails come out this side. But we are going to embellish this side. So, for the design aesthetics and, yeah, of this, embellishing here, so a left-hand page, bring in, you know, then you've got your right-hand page. It just makes more sense to have it going this way. I thought it looked much better. So, the other thing too is getting this piece we're looking at right now. I think I've actually put that about 2 inches up from the bottom. I think it's 1 3/4 inches up from the bottom. So if we want to match it with the left-hand page, you'd be wanting to keep them on the same measurement. 1 3/4 inches up from the bottom, and 3/4 of an inch in from that side, and down it goes. Zip strip. And that one, I'm just eyeballing it roughly. It's about 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom. I think I need a new blade. I know I need a new blade on my deluxe trimmer. It's starting to get a little bit furry. I usually know first when I'm cutting white cardstock because white cardstock's thicker. I know that I need to have a new blade. Okay, so I'm going to bring my photos in. I think we'll do the photos next. Just put aside a couple of these bits and pieces. Okay, so now, photos. Oh, I do have some of the Picture My Life Summer Vibes Picture My Life cards. And I did use these as a journaling spot, but also there's some good ideas on here that you can cut out and add to your page. So, you know, really great. That's a gorgeous one. Might be a bit too much. I could definitely accent and bring in a bit more yellow, or just see. I don't know. Just playing along with these. You can definitely, maybe a pop of yellow would be. I have got the nectarine colour here, so just got to be a bit careful what I bring in. I don't want a surfboard. It's not really surfboard. I could maybe bring in that. Summertime is quite cute. A lot of larger, the 6x4s. So you can cut these down to make journaling boxes. I like the colour of this one. That's going to bring and add a little bit of something. I've already used some out of this packet, so it's not a complete pack. I've got my sunglasses. What I've got also off to the side is a little jar of some bits and pieces off the sticker sheet. I've pulled the sticker sheet apart, and with my anti-static pouch, I have taken the stickiness off the back. So I've got, I do have a couple of bits of watermelon. And these were some pieces left over from another project. So I'm wanting to try and use some of these. So I've got an array of stars and different things. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I have got these sunglasses, which I quite like the idea of maybe fussy cutting out this. I've got the smaller glasses or the larger. I think what I'll do here is probably use maybe those because they go with the nectarine. I think that would be really good. And I can cut this down to half, and then I'll still have all of those, and I'll have the other glasses I can use rather than worrying about using that side. They are very cute, but they're a bit, I think they're too big for what I'm wanting to do. So I've got some ideas. I've got those there. Okay. So you can, yeah, I think I'll bring in some black dots, black and white. I've got the black and white dots. I'll leave that till after I do my photos. So let's get going on the photos. So I was having a look at these last night and pulled out some photos. Before I do, I will run through with you some ideas. So we've got, I've got some photo placement cards. I like using these to just plan out my layout. So I could have 2 of these side by side. It does cover up a lot of the black, but that's not a problem. I've done that. I did that in my other layout. Okay, so you can then break that down into 4 landscape 3x4s. Okay. Okay, you can do that. Or you've got a measurement here of 8 by 6. So let me think, what can we do? 8 by 6, so you could actually, I'll take these others away. So we've got 8 across. There's lots of ideas. You could just do something like this, and you could always put some smaller ones across and spread those out. That would work. Or you could put those at the top. It doesn't matter, whichever way. There's so many options for this. Absolutely brilliant it is. So you've got all that space to work with. What I think my plan was to go with something like this. I have a feeling I was going to bring in one of those. Whoops, upside down, but that doesn't matter. So let's have a look. I had all sorts of options going on in my head, and I was playing around with them. So let's just have a look. So I've also got the right hand page I want to consider at the same time, which I've got underneath. So for this one here, you've got this space which measures 6 by 6. So you're not going to be able to fit the 3 by 3s on here without totally covering up all of your pattern paper. So my suggestion here would be to just cut your photos down to 2 3/4. Okay, 2 3/4 or 2.75. So 2.75 square. So you'll get 4 on there. So that's what I'm planning to do there. You've got all this space here. I usually have a decorative piece, so I could put a decorative element there. I've got a title. I could even put that there. I could mat that on a coloured piece. I won't do this particular coloured piece, but I could cut something like that down, or just use a piece of scrap cardstock is more likely what I would do. So you've got so many options here. Oh, so many. You could even do something like that. Okay. I've got my popsicles. I did put on the other one, I put a journal box down here. So I think I must have used the only journal box for 4 by 3 or 3 by 4, whatever. Oh no, there were a couple others, weren't there? I don't want the ants. I don't want the surfboard. And I don't really want that one either. So that's okay. I'll come up with something. All right. So what then, if I'm putting a journaling area or pictures up there, I'll be putting a photo here. So let's go and have a look now. I'm going to have one off the camera to the side, and I'll start with this one. So I've got this gorgeous photo here of my husband and my little boy. He's not little anymore. I have this beautiful photo as well. I decided I could cut this down. I'll just have a look at that in a moment. When I was looking at this, I think one of my photos went off with the pixies somewhere. So when I went to pack up, I found it, and I think so. Now I think I've got an extra. We used to live right there, so I'm going to be cutting that out of the photo unless I make some changes to my layout design, which I could definitely do something like that and have 2 of these at the top. So that's another option. There are so many options here. Okay, these ones are definitely going to be cut down into the 3 by 3s. I may have too many. I might not need them all. This one here, a good way to know whether you're going to be able to cut something down is to lay your photo placement card over the top. Okay, so I think that one can come down to over onto the right hand page and be cut down to the 2 and 3/4 or 2.75. This one can be cut down. I've sort of got a fair idea of that page. So it may be that I need to do something like this and do a flip flap here with a story under it. That would work. I think that's perhaps what I will do. So I've got this one left and I have this one left. Decisions. So I'm going to cut down and start by using my beautiful little personal trimmer here. Gently sit that over the top and cut this down now to 3 inches. You have got this guard here, that clear plastic guard. It is a good idea to hold it. I find I forget and it does move. So these are 3 by 3. I've got my husband, some of my husband there and my daughter crouching down. So at this point in life, I had 2 children. Didn't have my third daughter or my third girl or my child, my daughter. All right, did I cut that down too much? Oh, nearly. All right, I can always reprint off a negative just for something a bit different. Right, so we've got that one. This one, I think we'll just chop that down to there. Right, that's good. I can put those there perhaps. All right, so that is very cute. What I also want to do is mix my photos so that I've got some of my bicycle on this page and some of my bicycle ride on the other page. So it's just a matter of me, if I'm going to do the left page like this, now looking at the right hand page, I have two more here to go on this page of my son on the slippery slide. So what can I do? I've got my daughter here in the background. So let's have a look at what we can do here. If I went that way, I'm going to sort of mess up my sizing. So decisions. It is always a little bit tricky. Okay. If I cut these down a bit further, ladies, I think probably for the sake of the whole exercise and the fact that we ran late getting started, I'm going to finish this off camera. And that way, if you want to make your base pages and then we come back, I'll actually post the finished artwork into the artwork album. So you just have to look on the side or at the top, depending on what device you're on, and actually have a look for the photos, or you might have a file that says it might show the like photos. It's under photos and then go albums to actually see the finished artwork. So I'll post it in there. And we do have another live coming up in a little while, so I'll get going off camera and have this posted for you so you can see the finished product. I think you've got a pretty good idea of how it's going to go together, and I'm going to embellish it with bits and pieces and maybe something from my stash. So pull out your stash, bust that stash, get your photos on your pages. You've got lots of options. If you don't have photo placement cards, I would cut down some white daisy cardstock, something that's not going to be distracting. Don't cut down paper, pattern paper for this, but cut down some white cardstock, even even photocopy paper, and cut it down into your different photo sizes, and use those to place out, to actually lay out your placements and get a bit of a feel for how, you know, you might want to proceed. So have fun with that, ladies. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to joining in our next game.